Hey everybody, it's Theresa here. Welcome back to Larkindecember, and today I'm going to finish up my December daily album for 2017. I hope you don't mind. I've sped it up pretty fast today just to fit it in and not hold on to you for too long. So I had to catch up days 22 through the 25th. And I'm working with foundation pages here that are created using Felicity Jane Joy right here. And so I had this funny little circumstance where I had a pattern page on this side of the pocket that was cut slightly smaller than the page protector. And so I had adhered this little ball fringe, and then I decided not to use the pattern paper. So, but I wanted to keep the ball fringe, and so it actually works out pretty fun. We went to a movie for date night. We went to see Father Figures, and when we came out of the movie theater, they had the little photo booth. So we went in, I channeled Kelly Perky here, right? The queen of photo booths. And so we went in there and had a good old time, and came out with these photo booth photos. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this transparency and turn it around so that December and the 22 show on the front side. And then when you flip it over, the photo is there. And so I'm writing the journaling on the back of those photos. Yes, it might have been a little bit risky to write the journaling directly on the back of those photos, but it worked out fine, and I really like how this turned out. It's really pretty fun, and it's a different way to use your transparencies here. If I hadn't cut the transparency down, you could still do this without the pocket page. So yeah, that's how quick day 22 was. And then of course that 2x2 divided page was done when I did my foundation pages. So moving right along to day 23, I created a cookie and hot cocoa bar here at the house. We made cookies this year. They were different because they were gluten-free. All of them except for one kind were gluten-free, and they were okay. They were pretty good. So in the end, before Nick and Natalie came back home for Christmas Day, I set up this little cookie bar for everybody just to enjoy the goodies and whatever. And this is also a tradition that I have. This plate rack was my mom's, and so it's something that I enjoy decorating. She enjoyed decorating that plate rack. She decorated it for every holiday. But that had to be documented here. And then the journaling I just put on a little tag from, the tag is from Pink Fresh Studio. So just real simple there again. And then moving on to day 24. So I just pulled this photo in. Our tradition on Christmas Eve is that the kids all bring down the presents all together. And so I wanted to get some pictures of that and be sure and capture that tradition here in our home. So that's the main photo. And then the Christmas Eve word art is from Paisley Press from December Faves. I think from a couple of years ago. And then I just added a sentence of journaling across the bottom. And then I also added another journaling card on the right-hand side here. And I'm just stamping some lines on it using the Becky Higgins roller stamp. And then I'm going to just write a little bit about how I sort of reflected on this as the days were passing, how just a couple of years ago when I was a single mom, there was one year that I only had like $80 to spend on Christmas, and how far we've come since then. all 6 of us, and how thankful I am for that we have all these amazing presents and this amazing family to be together and spend time together on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day was really special. So, and you see here, I'm fighting with the measurements. Did anyone else fight with these page protectors? Because they're bigger than 6 by 8. So printing and trimming anything was kind of a challenge with these 6 by 8 pages. But I still love them and love how they look in the album. So moving on to the 25th. And now I'm going to do a couple of pages from the 25th. Just straight up admitting to you guys, I took like 650 photos on Christmas Day. Obviously, I've pared that down really narrow. There's about 6 or 8 photos, probably about 10 photos here. And so I reprinted the template that I had designed for Larkindecember. I reprinted that using this year's Christmas tree. So you can see that right there. And now I'm going to move on here. And, well, no, I'm not. I still have like one card right there, or one pocket right there. So, and again, these cards are all from Larkindecember, and I'm just going to add that one. I was thinking about doing some journaling here, and then I just changed my mind in the interest of getting it done. Don't overthink it. Just have fun with it, right? So I had the snowflakes from Snow and Cocoa from Crate Paper. I didn't buy a lot of that collection. I really only bought those snowflakes and the tassels. That's it. But I did want to use those snowflakes because they're really pretty, and the colors I felt tied in with this layout really beautifully. So I'm going to just cut that one little snowflake apart and use part of it on the left-hand side and the other part of it on the right-hand side. And I just glued it directly to the photo. I also went through my transparencies. My original thought was to do a big, giant 2 and 5 on this. But then I thought I would repeat the snowflakes and use some more of those. So I did use the diagonal gold transparency. It's from the Ali Edwards 2017 product offerings. So I definitely love that and love having that little contrast, I guess, to introduce the 25th. So now I'm going to move on here to the next page. I'm working with Celine Studio Making Spirits Bright collection, and I had already embellished a couple of cards here. Very simple, just adding one little tiny element to each one. And then I'm going to trim up all these photos. So here's the thing, 650 photos, and narrowing down to which ones to print becomes quite a challenge, right? But here's what I knew. What I knew is that I wanted to show each of us individually, but I also wanted to show some of the relationships that we have, and I also just wanted to tell some of the overall stories of what happened that day. So there were a couple of stories here. One was, it seemed like everybody got something with fur on it. Fur pillows, fur blankets. I got a fur vest. There was even a fur garland on the Christmas tree, and so that was a big story for this year. Another story was that it seemed like the trend this year was to open the presents by kicking the boxes. So I don't know how that came about, but it was something that we laughed about. And I think that we'll laugh about for many years to come. So in the end, I chose a photo of each person. And then there's a photo of Addison. He was being particularly aggressive with opening his photo. And then there's another 4x6 that will be on the last page. And it's a picture of all the boxes in the trash after we had gathered it all together. It just kind of took over the Christmas tree. And so I thought there's a story in that as well. So product-wise, here's what I'm going to do. I had this full page of one of the pattern papers, and I trimmed down the second pattern paper that had the numbers on it and added that Christmas tree tag. That wooden Christmas tree is from Target, from the dollar spot. And then writing out my journaling here. And so what I'm going to do is 2 journaling cards on this side of the page protector and 2 photos on this side, and then repeat that on the back. So Addison here and Nick here. I'm sorry that I'm kind of running out of the viewfinder a little bit here. But what I want to do here is include everyone's initials. So I'm kind of looking for some product to use as a base for those alphabets. Those are Simple Stories alphabets. And then these little tickets are from Allie Edwards from one of the previous December Daily kits. Probably 2016, if I were to guess. Yeah, so I'm going to just adhere those to the photos and then layer the alphabet or layer their initial on top of it. And I'm going to do that for everyone here, so you'll see that coming up. And then flipping over to the next side, and these are the photos of the girls. And so again, using these journaling cards that I had already embellished, so they get included, and then repeating this ticket plus an initial. So these photos, they just kind of show everyone's excitement, right? Yeah. And then I added this Be Merry card. Very simple. I just printed that out today. And then I'm going to add a silver star, a glitter star from Freckled Fawn to that. And then that side of the page is done. And here's one more. This is the right-hand side. Another journaling card from Making Spirits Bright. And then I'm just going to journal about the stomping of the Christmas presents. It sounds so weird. But if you have kids and if you have boys and you have teenagers, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. They just get aggressive. So, but it was funny. And then there's also this really awesome photo of Alan to make sure that everyone is included here. And I debated here about adding a heart for that ticket, but it just I didn't really seem to have a good heart to add there, so I just left it. And here's Alan's ticket and the A, and that finishes that side. And so then I'm going to flip to the other side, and there's the photo. I know it's a little bit cut off, but there's the photo of all the debris, the aftermath of the day. And also this is where I'm putting the photo of me. And so I see this as sort of the final reflection of the season, right? This is the end, the last page. And it's an epic journey, to finish this album and finish this project each year feels like a major accomplishment. And it does take a little bit of grit and a little bit of grind to come back to it every day. And I'm really proud. And I'm also really thankful. I'm really thankful for this community and really thankful to have this project every year. It helps me tremendously to focus on these stories every day. So thank you to Allie Edwards. Thank you to all of you guys for encouraging me. Thank you for all the views and the likes and the thumbs down and the lovely comments that you guys have all left me and the encouragement that everyone has shown to me. I just appreciate it so much. This is truly the best project of every year. So I will be back in a couple of days with a final full walkthrough of this album so you can see the whole thing all together. And I wish you a very happy 2018. Thanks for watching, you guys. Bye-bye.